Good day everyone. For today's lesson, I am going to discuss about the 1001 Nights, also called the Arabian Nights. So without any further ado, let's jump to the presentation. So the 1001 Nights. So what do you think why it is called 1001 Nights? I know that you have your answer, and that's what we need to find out. So next slide. The 1001 Nights, or the Arabian Nights, as it commonly called in English, is a collection of stories of uncertain date and authorship that is very well known to readers worldwide. So, because this book is called travel book, there was no idea of who is the main author of this book. And based on my research, there was no main author of this book or tale, and ang mugawas lang kay mostly mga translator of this book or tale. And one of the translation of 1001 Nights was translated by Antoine Galland. So si Antoine Galland was a French Orientalist and archaeologist, and most famous as the first European translator of 1001 Nights, which he called Les Mille et Noé Noëts. So, while the sources of many of the stories of 1001 Nights are unknown, most are considered to have Middle Eastern or Indian origin. So, because it is a travel book, the stories in the 1001 Nights have traveled the world repeatedly over the centuries. But this region is where they originated. First told by the storytellers in the 600 to 900. So, it's a Christian era time. So, 1001 Nights is aren't just from Arabia, or it not just origin in Arabia, but dating back as far as the 10th century. These tales have origins in North African, Arabic, Turkish, Persian, Indian, and as Asian cultures. So it's spread over centuries. The stories are set within a frame story with many stories embedded within. So, when we say a frame story, is a story that told with another story inside of it. Do you understand what I mean? The tales have influenced and continue to inspire many well-known literary figures. So, according to Al Nadim, that the book contains only 200 stories. So imagine that how intelligent storyteller of this book is. 'Di ba? Grabe 200 stories kaayo no. And the major theme and motif within the Arabian Nights are eroticism and sexuality. Because in the frame story of the Arabian Nights, the king struggles with accepting his wife's sexual desires that lead to her unfaithfulness when he is away during the war. So grabe no. Mara to hinungdan nga nung nawala ang trust ni sa king sa iyang asawa. So 1001 Nights, this is a continuing storytelling session in which stories began and then left open-ended at a crucial point. So the next day, the story is complete and a new one began and left open-ended at an exciting moment. So, mo to niabot siya og 200 ka stories. And stories could be selected from the tales of the Arabian Nights and told in this fashion as in the style of the storyteller. So she is a great storyteller ha, uh, I ever known. So, according to legend, she told stories in this way to a king for 1001 nights. So, which is why the stories of the Arabian Nights is also called 1001 Nights. So now you know why it is called 1001 Nights. So within a 1001 Nights uh, unsa ni naka story ang storyteller og 200 ka stories. 'Di ba? Grabe daghan kayo. And now in this lesson, I will discuss first the main character of 1001 Nights, the summary of the story, and the last one, the greatest stories from 1001 Nights. So, now we are going to talk about first the main characters of the 1001 Nights and its background also. So, first, one is Shahrazad. So see, Shahrazad is the major female character and the storyteller of the frame narrative of the Middle Eastern collection of the tales known as the 1001 Nights. So, Shahrazad, she is the one who keeps telling stories to the king to divert his attention. So, what do you think is to do that? Okay. I know that you have your answer, and that's what we need to find out. So, next character is Shahyar. So, Shahyar is the king and the ruler of India and Indochina, the older brother of Shahzaman, and he discovered his wife had cheated on him with a cook and witnesses his brother's wife cheating with the slaves. So, si Shahyar, uh, si Shahyar is a very wealthy man, but unfortunately he is very unlucky in love. He was betrayed by his wife, which makes him believe that all women are the same, that all women are cheaters. Wow, do you agree with that, girls? 'Di ba? Mga cheaters daw ang mga babae. Kay as what he discovered to his wife and also sa wife sa iyang brother kay nag-cheat sa ilaha or be unfaithful sa ilaha kay nangita og lain, di ba? So according to him, Shayar, I marry a virgin only kissed by her mother. I shall kill her the following day, and I shall protect myself from the cunning and the sin of woman. For there is not a single woman in this earth. So, para dili na mausab sa iyang wife ang mag-cheat like sa gibuhat sa iyang first wife, ginapatay niya ang iyang mga asawa. So, kato pong nag-cheat sa katong first wife niya, kay iya pong gipatay mo to dito ang nagsugod ang iyang revenge, di ba? So every night for 3 years he takes a wife and will execute her the next morning. So next character, si Dunyazad. So Dunyazad is the younger sister of the doomed queen Shahrazad. So si si Koan, si Donya Sad, she is the one who initiates the tactic of cliffhangers storytelling to prevent her sister's execution by Shayar. So, si Donya Zad, siya ang naghahatag og signal sa iyang ate, sister para mag-open and end sa story. But all of that are already planned with her sister, Shahrazad, bago pa man gi-offer ni Shahrazad na pakasalan ang king na si Shayar. So, next one is Shahzaman. She is the brother of the king Shayar. So, is the sultan of Samarkand or Samarkande and brother of Shayar. Shahzaman catches his first wife in the bed with the slaves and cuts them into two. So, gipatay naging unfaithful pod or nag-cheat pod ang asawa niya sa um, sa ilang slaves. So mo to gipatay pod niya ang duha. Then, while staying with his brother, he discovered that Shayar's wife is unfaithful. So, uh, same pod ang iyang asawa og ang iyang asawa og asawa sa iyang kuya kay mga unfaithful kaayo. So, that's why si Shazaman kay makes him believe also that all women are untrustworthy. So again, though he thought that all women are cheaters for women. So mga cheaters daw ang mga babae kay murag pareha-pareha ra daw ang ginabuhat sa ilaha. Kaya nakita man niya sa iyang brother's wife and sa iyang wife na nag-cheat. So mo to gi-generalize nila duha sa iyang brother na mga cheaters ang mga babae, mga unfaithful sa ilang bana. So next or the last main character is the Shahrazad and Dunyazad's father, so sometimes called Jafar. He's the king's vizier. So what do you think does the viziers do? Okay. So ang viziers is the chief minister or high administrative officer of the King Shayar. So kibale siya ang right hand ni King Shayar. So every day on the king's order, he beheads the brides of Shayar. So mao to katong ginapakaslan ni King Shayar, siya ang nagapatay kada next morning after sa ilang kasal. So he does this for many years until all the unmarried women in the kingdom have either been killed or run away. So until at which point Shahrazad offers to marry the king. So iyang anak kay nag offer sa iya na pakaslan niya ang king. So his father shocked sa giingon sa iyang daughter. So in an attempt to discourage his daughter from marrying the mad king na si Shayar, the vizier tells Shahrazad the tale of the bull and the ass. It is about kanang it is about bitong pahimangno or kanang kibali it is story para ma-distract iyang uh, ma-disappoint iyang anak para dili na niya pakaslan ang king. So but it is does not work and she pursued to marry Shayar. So wala bisan pag gi kuan niya to sa iyang anak, wa gyud na kuan niya anak, wa gyud na tarog or wa gyud na change ang mind sa iyang anak para pakaslan tong king. So those are the main characters of the 1001 Nights. So next part is the summary. So this part we will talk about the flow of this story. Sa the 1001 Nights, or also known as the Arabian Nights, is constructed as a frame story to which all other tales are subsequently added. The tales themselves comes in a very wide variety of genres, including fables, adventures, mysteries, love stories, erotica, comedies, tragedies, and many more. So, like what I have said earlier, that this story is a story that is told with another story inside of it. Ended, one will be hard pressed not to know stories about Aladdin, Alibaba, and Sinbad, among any others, only with such terms as a ghoul or genie, which was known in the West through the tales of 1001 Nights. To put it simply, The frame itself is one of a King Shiar who has been betrayed by his wife and is sympathizing his bro King Shazaman who suffered the similar fate itself. So like what I have said earlier na ilang mga asawa kay naging unfaithful sa ilahang duha, nag-cheat sila sa ang katong asawa ni mm, wife ni Shigar kay nag-cheat sa isa ka cook while sa ang asawa ni Jazaman kay nag-cheat sa isa ka slave. So mao to na kuan nila na na that's why they believe that all women are the same and all women are cheaters. Mao to. So after King Shears discovered that his wife has been unfaithful to him, para to resolve of being unfaithful of all other wives para dili na to mausab kay ang ginabuhat sa ilang mga asawa sa ilaha na mag-cheat or maging unfaithful sa ilaha to marry a new woman on his journey. King Shayar nothing to woman becomes more vivid and confirms his paranoia that women are not to be trusted. So mo to ang iyang ginabuhat kay napatay niya ang mga naging iyang mga no maging ang iyang mga naging asawa kay iyang ginapatay in the next morning sa ginapapatay to niya kay kinsa man kay Jafar or the iyang vicer na si katong papa ni Shahrazad and Dunyazad. So mao to tungod sa being unfaithful sa ilang mga asawa kay nabuo to ni Shayar na desisyon na patyon na lang ang mga ang ilang ang iyang ang iyang maging asawa kibali. So para dili na to mausab ang mga ginabuhat sa iyang magiging asawa kay iyang ginapaslan sa niya tapos ginapatay in the next morning. So grabe ka ayun no um, kung ikaw ang pakaslan ni Shayar, di ba hadlok gyud kaayo no kay kabalo na ka napatyon kapag kaugma nga na gyud kay mabuhat ana. So next, from the very loving king and husband, he had somewhat become horror than anything else. So, well, naging love kuan pud si Shayar no, dili siya ingan asaw na 'di ba kanang 'di ba kung sa mga husband kibali 'di ba sweet kay sila una pero masakpan gali ka na kanang naging unfaithful kay sila ha so masukog gyud grabe pero grabe pod si Shayar og kanang grabe kay si Shayar og kanang kuan pod kanang unsay tawag ani oy grabe pod og kanang parusa si Shayar sa iya mga asawa so ginapatay niya imagine that no grabe ka iyang pag revenge so he spent the night with them and killed them in the next morning so mao to ginapatay niya in the next morning after nila magpakasal so ginadulog pa niya and then pagka ugma ginapatay na niya ang iyang asawa. So the people, shocked by the brutality of this law, and watches in horror as their king murders their daughter. So wala pod na dili pod ka kuan no. Dili pod ka si tawag ni dili ka pugong ang mga people ato na lugar kay so grabe gyud kaayo ka brutal ang iyang pag revenge tungod sa cause na gibuhat sa iyang first wife. So luoy kaayo tong mga naging next niya na mga wife kay ginapatay gud niya. So naapil na damay-damay na niya ang mga uban girls. Abi kay nagtuo siya na mga cheaters ang mga babae tanan. So para dili na to mausab kay iyan ang ginapatay. So, this homicidal arrangement continues until such Lady of Beer who has a plan to rescue the kingdom from the king. So, this lady is none other than is Shahrazad. So, who is well known for her penchant for her storytelling. So, sa kanin pud na tale kay ang storyteller pud ani kay si Shahrazad. So, siya po ang main character, female, main female character, ani na story or tale. So, Shahrazad convinces her father to offer her to Shayar. So, kato giingnan ni iyang father na wala namang kato na time na hurot na gyud ang mga babae, wala na gyud makuan, wala na gyud makuha ng mga dalaga or mga babae. So, mao to Shahrazad decided na uh, i-offer ang i-offer niya ang iyang sarili na pakaslan ang king na si Shayar. So imagine no, wala gid siya na hadlok na i-offer iyang life ana para ana na tao. Di ba kabalo naman siya na patyon na siya, ay patyon siya in the next morning after nila magkasal or after nila kuan so after nila mag-spend with night with together kay gina so to wake her before sunrise. So let's proceed to the summary. So this part we will talk about the flow of the story. The 1001 Nights, also known as the Arabian Nights, is constructed as a frame story to which all other tales are subsequently added. Like what I have said earlier, that it is a story that is told with another story inside of it. So the tales themselves comes in a very wide variety of genres, including fables, adventures, mysteries, love stories, erotica, comedies, tragedies, stories, and more. So ended, one will be hard pressed not uh, to know the stories about Aladdin, Alibaba, and Sinbad among any others, only with such term as gold or genie, which was known in the West through the tales of 1001 Nights. And to put it simply, the frame itself is one of the King Shigar, who has been betrayed by his wife and is sympathizing his brother King Shizaman, who suffered the similar fate itself. So after King Shigar's discovered that his wife has been unfaithful to him, so as what I have said earlier, that their wives is cheated on them, to resolves of being unfaithful of all his wives, to marry a new woman on his journey. So King Shayar put his law that he will marry a woman, then he will spend with with his wife at night after they married. Then he execute them in the next morning. So King Shayar, nothing to woman, becomes more vivid and confirms his paranoia. So when we call paranoia kay, which he is thinks that and feel like he threatened in some way or in the same way. So he fears of being betrayed again by woman. That's why he and his brother conclude that women are not to be trusted. So like what I have said earlier, that they believe that all women are the same and all women are cheaters. So From the very loving king and husband, he had somewhat become horror than anything else. He spent the night with them and killed them in the next morning. The people, shocked by the brutality of this law, and watches in horror as their king murders their daughter. So, because of what his first wife did to him of being unfaithful, uh, this homicidal arrangement continues until such ladies of Bir who has planned to rescue the kingdom from the king. So this lady is Shahrazad, who is well known for her penchant for her storytelling. Every night she has her younger sister to come to the royal quarters and urge the queen to entertain the king and her with one of her famous stories. Um, so, before pa man sa kasal ni King Shayar and Shahrazad and his younger sister Dunyazad already have a plan na they will entertain the king through stories but in a unique way, as if that Dunyazad uh, wants to hear the stories from her sister, but wala kabalo si King Shayar that it is just a way to prevent her sister execution. So wait, um, so Shahrazad convinces her father to offer her to Shayar. But like what I have said earlier na dili gid gusto unta sa iyang father ang na iyang pakaslan ang ah, ang king na si King Shayar. But wala gyud na pugnan niya ang iyang anak. Kay gusto gud niya lagi na ah, maundang to na kuan sa iyang at kibali ma-cure tong paranoia sa king na natanan woman kay the same. So gusto niya i-prove na dili tanan woman are unfaithful or cheaters. Mao to iyang gipakaslan ang king. So so she asked her sister Donyazad to wake her before sunrise and ask for a story. So Donyazad wakes her as commanded by her sister with the king's permission. So every night she has her younger sister to come to the royal quarters and urge the queen to entertain the king and her with one of her famous stories. So she resided and puts her talent so beginning until every night but never ending before day breaks, there are constantly cut short before. So her sister Donyazad ang nagahatag og signal to open up sa story, but she also cut the stories at the crucial point, or there is a cliffhanger of the story of Shahrazad. So the king uh, so the king want not wanting miss ending kay curious kayo siya kung unsa ang sunod or ending sa story. So iyang gibuhat is he allows Shahrazad to live and find out what happened to the story. So ana si King Shayar na o sige tagaan pati ka og isa pa ka night para tiwason na nimo ang story, and tomorrow I will execute you. And yes, he he gituman niya ang giingon sa king. So he continue she continue the story, but she opened a new one again and again. So wala gyud katapusan ang iyang
mga story. So ana yang ko ana si King Shayar na I know na naagyoy ending ang imong story. Kay nakuha na sa King ba na murag kuan bitaw niya gigamit niya ang story para dili ay para takasan niya ang execution. So, ang nahitabo kay this storytelling continues until 1001 nights. So, pag-abot ana na time kay ana ang king na patyon na siya. But what did Shahrazad said to the king Shayar is ana siya na, sa king kay imagine ni abot na ta og 1001 nights. Nakita ba nimo na naging unfaithful or nag-cheat ko sa imo ha? 'Di ba? I was being faithful to you since we married. So mao to King Shayar after 1001 nights he gave off his plan and his paranoia was cured. Kaya na-prove man ni Shahrazad that not all women are cheaters and na dili tanan woman also kay unfaithful sa ilang mga husband. So, there's still a faithful woman like her. 'Di ba? Ana siya na yun, I am faithful to you since then we married. Wow, 'di ba? Makuan gid nato na naagyoy faithful na woman dili kay tanan dili kay and mausad ang na-find ni ah, King Shayar na dili gid ay tanan woman are unfaithful or cheaters tungod kay Don Yazad. So now we are done to the summary. So let's proceed to the 9 greatest stories from 1001 nights. So I will just give you a very short summary of these two stories from out of 9 stories, and then the rest I will assign it to you after. Then you will present it tomorrow, the summary of it, and I will give you 10 minutes for that. I will just surprise you all of what the prize I will give you for those great storyteller like Shahrazad. So I will just send the criteria on our group chat after this, after my discussion rather. And now the 9 greatest stories from 1001 Nights. So we have Aladdin's Wonder Lamp, Ali Baba and the 40 Thieves, the, sea, the Seven Voyage of Sinbad the Sailor, the Tale of the Hunchback, the Viziers and the Sage Duban, the Three Apples, the Fisherman and the Genie, the Lovers of Basura, the Three Prince and the Prince Norinhar. And that's it. So let's proceed. Let's back to first. So here. So I will discuss the Aladdin's Wonder Lamp and Alibaba and the 40 Types. So I will just give you a short summary of it. And like what I have said earlier that you will I will no I will send it to you after. Then you will present it tomorrow. The short summary of it, and I will give you 10 minutes for that, and I will just surprise you of what the price I will give for those great storyteller like Shahrazad. So I will just send the criteria on our group chat. Okay. So Aladdin's Wonder Lamp. So Aladdin's Wonder Lamp, although it wasn't added to the collection until the 18th century by French scholar Antoine Galland, Aladdin is one of the famous popular tales from 1001 Nights because of its modern Disney adaptation. In the original tale, Aladdin is a poor young man in one of the cities of China. A sorcerer deceives Aladdin and pursues him to steal an oil lamp from a magic cave. So Aladdin accidentally releases a genie from the lamp, and so a series of events unfold in which Aladdin every wish comes true, but only to be dismantled by the villain. So thankfully, a Disney approved happy ending is in store. So Aladdin kay about sa isa ka na siya nakuan gi atik siya sa isa ka unsa sorcerer na kuan lagi to ang magic si tawag ni katong magic oil lamp. So everything na imong gusto i-wish kay ihatag or matuman ana na lamp. Ihatag ana na lamp kibali. So mao to tungod sa kuan lagi katong sorcerer kay gi pasagdan ra niya si ah, Aladdin sa isa ka cave. Kay gusto lagi niya makuan ana sa ingon na ambisa nang imong kuan kanang lamp kay kuan rat kay ikaw na puy sunod, pero wala nagkuan si Aladdin, wa niya gihatag ang lamp. Mo tugi saradan siya sa unsa ni sorcerer sa cave. So while nagstay si Aladdin sa cave, na accidentally he robbed the lamp sa ikatulo niya. Pag rob niya, ning gawas ang isa ka genie. So mo to natingala siya, and then ana tong genie na bisag unsa imong kuan gusto i-wish kay iyang tumanon. Mo to nakagawa ah, si Aladdin sa cave kay one of his wish na makagawa siya ato na cave. And then nadato si Aladdin that time kay tungod sa katuna lamp, and he marries Mary also sa pinakadato ato na lugar, sa ilang lugar. So he is sa according sa akong natan-aw na movie kay he is a Chinese. Aladdin is a Chinese. So next is Alibaba and the 40 Thieves. So this famous tale is another that was added by Galland in the 18th century. Alibaba is a poor but hard-working woodcutter who finds a Thieves' hideout protected by magic, by which he enters by saying, "Open sesame," and then pag mag-close siya, "Close sesame." The den is filled with treasures, and Alibaba lets the secret out to his brother Kasim. Nakitaan ni well nag sa tawag ani oy well nag kanang nangahoy si Alibaba ato na kuan nakita niya ang mga 40 Thieves ato na cave. So we find out na daghan kaayo dito og mga treasure na dito na ng mga gold, diamond, tanan-tanan na dito ang mga kwarta na dito at tanan. And kato na kuan kay iyang gi-share pod niya sa iyang brother na si Kasim na grabe kaayo ka sakim kaayo og kayamanan mao to ni ato si iyang brother na si Kasim sa ato na cave, and then kuan pod niya katong unsaon pag unsaon pag unsaon pag enter ato na cave. So but nasakpan siya sa mga 40 times kay tungod lagi sa kakuan og kwarta siya ra lagi sa isa dito sa ato na cave. And mo to nasakpan siya atong pinuno ato na pinuno ato or tag-iya ato na cave. So gipatay siya. So useless lang kaay ang pag-adto dito ato na kuan ato na cave. Bisag giingnan na siya sa iyang kuan sa iyang brother na si Alibaba na dili siya magbuot-buot og adto dito kay naay mga types na grabe kaayo ka mga warrior napatyon gud siya og manghilabot atong ilang mga kayamanan ato na cave. So the tribes find out Alibaba knows how to get into their hideout, so they set off to kill him, but they are outwitted by Alibaba clever slave Morjana. So nahibal-an nila na ang hinungdan di ay nganong nakahibalo ang iyang kuya kay tungod pod ni Alibaba. Mao to nasakpan ni nahibal-an sa mga 40 tribes about kay Alibaba na nakabalo siya unsay secret ato na kuan na cave or hideout. Mao to kay gi planuhan na patyon si Alibaba, but sa tabang ni Morjana iyang slave kay na-prevent niya ang execution or pagpatay kay Alibaba. So that's it. So I will just message you kung unsa ang inyong stories. I will assign it to you, each one of you, and then you will present it tomorrow. Okay. And that's it for today. And now what you have learned in this tale, just give me one word and elaborate it in a comment section of this video, and then that's it. But if you have any questions about these stories, the 1001 nights, you can message me directly or in the comment section below para makuan na ko kung unsa inyong gusto masabtan pa or basig na amoy nalibugan pa, and I will unsa ni paningkamutan ako na matubag na. And that's it for today, and thank you. God bless us all.